take projection.
Welcome everybody to Taking on Sports. I am TD. That is Greg. Greg, how you doing, man?
I am pretty good tonight. A little tired, mowed the grass right before this. But kudos to watermelon, man. When it's hot outside and after you do stuff, man, it's something so great about watermelon.
That's true. No, yeah, it is a perfect
It's underrated, I
summertime
think.
outside fruit.
When
No,
you
yeah.
after you've done something, you're a little bit hungry, but you're hot and sweaty. You really don't feel like eating a whole bunch, man. It hits the spot.
All right. So, question: do you put salt on your watermelon?
Not usually. No, I just usually
Not
eat it.
usually. Okay.
I have occasionally though. But
Okay. Yeah. See, I
But
never
I've
did
seen
that.
that's a big conversation. I know I've seen that
Hmm.
a lot of folks talk about that online, whether they do or not. And some people take it real serious.
See, I never
So
did it
it's good
before.
though.
It is good. Before I started dating my girlfriend, and she did it. Her family
Yeah,
does it, and I was like, "What are y'all doing?" They're like, "What do you mean? What are we doing?" I'm like, "Why are you putting salt in watermelon?" And they were like
yeah.
mystified that I didn't. Like they were
Didn't
shocked.
right.
Yeah, they were like, "You
Yeah.
don't?" I'm
People
like,
that
"I."
do it, people that
Yeah.
do it are amazed that others don't do it. Yeah, it's funny.
Is it a country thing or like a southern Midwest thing? I don't because like
I think it's mainly a southern, but
yeah.
I think more of a country southern thing more than
Mm-hmm.
anything.
Yeah, because they definitely did not do that in Baltimore. At least nobody I knew, and
No,
it was just you just ate it. I mean,
I mean if
in
they did,
college
they're
we
definitely
tried to
from the
put
south.
yeah,
Yeah,
in college we tried to
we put
put
a lot of alcohol in our
vodka. Yeah, the
watermelon, but
alcohol. We tried that. Oh man, didn't we do it
good
one time with
times.
like some Everclear and it was just rough?
Oh boy.
I don't remember. Ooh, yeah.
The worst
Anyway,
I did was
go ahead.
Everclear, Gatorade, and then go out all night
Oh, oof. Oh,
in a hot
yeah.
ass club. Yeah.
I laugh. I see these videos. I guess they're TikToks, but I see them on Instagram.
Yeah.
Uh, but I guess the kids trying like Everclear for the first time, and I'm like, ooh, just don't do it. Just don't go through that phase. Like,
Yeah. You could do better. Be
yeah, you
better.
can do. You can do better. You can do better. Don't. Well, I guess we went through some trashy ass liquors and shit. I mean, you used to drink that
Oh,
Mad Dog.
absolutely. Oh man, Mad
You
Dog.
used to have
Still, I
that.
used to drink Still
that
Reserves,
oh, the
two
Steel Reserve.
11s. I
God.
mean, I used to drink those like they were great.
Ice House. Oh, I used to
Man,
drink that
good
Ice House
time,
too. Ice House, Bud
good time.
Ice. Oof.
Yeah,
Oh man, you used to have that. We didn't keep veggies or fruit in our refrigerated drawers, but used to keep it full of Mad Dog, all the different colors.
yeah, good stuff.
Oh man, yeah,
Absolutely fucking terrible.
terrible, absolutely. I remember one time, it's like summer after maybe freshman year, sophomore, I can't remember. But my buddy I grew up with, Joe, he was crashing with us for the summer,
Yeah,
and we went to a party one night, and at my mom's house, and so so she's still like, like, don't you drink, come home, blah blah blah. So one
yeah.
point in the night, I tried some bullshit, like calling her and be like, hey, somebody's blocking us in, so we can't leave. She's like, I'll come pick you up. I'm like, no. Oh, look, they just moved. We were trying to stay so
Yeah,
we could. No,
absolutely.
I was driving, so I only had a drink or two. I
Yeah,
wasn't trying to fuck around.
but
Joey,
yeah, absolutely. Try to
he
find any way to stay out.
he got drunk. He got real drunk, and he was drinking that Mad Dog, real cheap and all that. So we get back home. My mom's pissed. She can tell. Did you da 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 da? We're getting the drill sergeant routine. My mom was in the
Oh
army,
yeah,
so we're getting that, and it
yeah.
was so funny because I was so confused.
That'll
Because
sober
like,
you up super quick.
oh yeah, for real. And like I said, I only had a couple. Like I told her, I was like, look, I had
Right.
like two like Pepsi and whiskeys or whatever they had
Yeah.
at the party. I was just like, what
Mhm.
you got? Whatever. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm fine. I'm legit. Like, really, I was probably trying to stay so I could try to hook up with some girl or whatever. But like,
Absolutely.
we just didn't
Yeah.
want to come home. But so
Yeah.
she's sitting there giving us whatever. I was confused because she also used to go like, there's a time and place for everything. It's called college, but except for those 3 months when I was home for the summer, she's like, still my rules again. You ain't 21 yet. So she wild, but
And that is pretty funny though, because I know I even that first semester, well, first summer home. Come in. It was maybe 3 a.m. He was like, "What the fuck you doing coming at 3 a.m.? You come in our house at 3." I'm like, "I mean, the rest of the 9 months. I mean, you don't know what I'm doing. So I
Yeah.
mean, technically, they're like, yeah, but you're in our house right now. So at least come in at midnight, then."
Right. Yeah.
But I was like, 9 months out the year, you don't know when I come in. So I,
It was hilarious because I remember that first semester, that winter break, going home for Christmas. Mom picked me up at the airport. We're driving home, and she just made conversation. She goes, "So, have you tried drinking? Have you?" And I'm like, "No, no." She's like,
what?
"You can tell me. There's a time and place for it." She used to say that all the time. There's a time and place for everything. It's called
For
college.
everything.
You're supposed to experiment, and
Yeah.
as long as you're
Do
reasonable,
your dumb
da da
shit.
da.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so, we talked about it. I was like, yeah, of course, I went to party, blah, 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 all that stuff. And she was cool with it. She was like, okay, just, hey, don't,
Yeah.
gave me the rules. Don't
Don't
end up
be,
in jail. Don't, yeah.
don't be stupid. Yeah.
What's
Don't
that one?
try.
I don't know if you've seen that. It kind of became a meme, but it's this one mom giving her kids and their friends a speech. And she's like, okay, here are the rules. Like, do not end up in jail. Do not add to the population. Do not subtract from the population.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah,
So
that's
funny.
basically it. Yeah.
So funny.
But so we're getting here. Go fast forward back to this party. She's giving us the third degree. My boy Joey, he'd been drinking that Mad Dog all night, and he's just wobbling. And she looks at him. What is wrong with you? He's like, nothing. I have to use the bathroom. So he goes in. Yeah, exactly. We can hear him. It's a thin ass walls. This old apartment we grew up in. He gets out. What were you drinking? He tells her Mad Dog, and all of a sudden her face like changes. She goes from being mad to laughing her ass off and starts giving him shit for throwing up off a Mad Dog. Like it was hilarious. She's like, "What? You couldn't afford Boone's Farm?" Or something. Like, God damn. Mom. She was just like giving it to him, and like that made the whole thing better. She just laughed. It was like, "All right, you idiots, go to sleep." Like,
Go to sleep.
yeah, don't do
The
that shit
bad
again.
thing about Mad Dog is the headache it gives you the next day. The
Ooh.
worst headache of all time.
Yeah, and that neon throw up too. That. But man,
And all
yeah,
the flavors taste exactly the same. It doesn't matter what color you have. There's no difference.
that's true. Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, it's always wild to me when I see these kids now like trying that crazy shit. I'm like, don't do it. Just stick to
Man, you
seltzers.
guys-
That's good for you. Those
Yeah.
those seltzers, you guys got it right with that shit.
You guys are way fancier than us.
Yeah,
Stick to what you know.
yeah.
This
Those
isn't
are
what you want to do.
The digital
Stick
age,
to-
yeah. You
Yeah.
guys are enlightened. We weren't.
No.
We did what
just
the
knew it
older
was
kids
cheap
told us to
and-
do. Yeah.
Yeah. We just knew it was cheap and we were gonna get drunk quick. We didn't give a shit up anything about about it.
Yeah, what was that
Oh,
whiskey
man.
I used to drink? Old Granddad, man. People used to be like, man, how can you drink that shit? I'm like, because it's like $8 a bottle, bro. Like,
Yeah.
that's why.
Absolutely.
I don't care.
When you only got $30 to spend,
Mm-hmm.
hey man, you can't be too picky.
No, exactly. Yeah, you gotta priorities.
Absolutely.
All right, that does it for our dumb college drinking podcast. Man. Yeah, let's some sports this week. Things are starting to cool down. We're hitting that point in the summer. Not much going on, but a busy week at NBA free agency. Let's start there. Last we talked to y'all, we covered the draft and a couple of moves that were going to get made. But of course, the actual free agency offseason doesn't officially start until July 1st, so that's when everything becomes official. I think the funniest part of all that is that the KD trade has now become an NBA record 7-team trade.
Yeah. Just keep just keep adding.
Everybody with the ad. I'm trying to look up, trying to find it here on this because it was hilarious when you actually look at
It's deep.
what
Super.
what everyone gets. Yeah, it's like you already know Houston and Phoenix.
Yeah.
Basically what they got. I'm trying to see. Oh, there it is. I had this pulled up earlier. I lost it. But when you actually break it down here, Where's this picture, man? Well, I can't find it right now, but it involves like Steven Adams, or not Steven Adams, Clint
Uh-huh.
Capella going back to
Back to the Rockets.
the Rockets. It gives them a deep bench, man.
They did because they added him, and then they added who else did they add? Capella and I can't think who. Yeah, they added Capella. And who was the other guy? I can't even think who the other guy they added. It was the same day. Capella and
We'll come back to it. Let's see.
yeah,
We can think about it. So officially in this trade, yeah, the Rockets get Durant, Clint Capella. The Suns get Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Coleman Malak, Rasheer Fleming. Those were 2 from the draft. Another second rounder, a bunch of second rounders. The Nets get a couple of second rounders. The Warriors got a couple of second round picks from this year. The Hawks got David Rowdy, second round pick and 31, some cash. Lakers got a second round pick, some cash. The T-Wolves got a second round pick, a couple of future second round picks, and cash. So it's crazy, not really, more big names than the major players, but
right.
it was just funny to me that note that it became a 17 after all that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I guess the big stuff this week was, the biggest move was the Lakers getting DeAndre Ayton.
That's big. That's huge for them.
Yeah,
they needed the big man.
Yeah, they finally got their big man, and we'll see if he
gets back to what he was. I mean,
he combined it was. It's now also interesting. They now have 2 of the top 3 picks from the 2017 draft with him and Luka. Your Mavs got D'Angelo Russell.
I like it. I mean, that's solid. I mean, basically, he's a placeholder for Kyrie. I mean, I like it. He's not too expensive either.
Yeah, cheap.
Like
He's a good scorer for.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It kind of flies in the face of the whole Nico saying they want to build that team around defense because D. Russell, he ain't playing defense. But
they got him on a good deal.
Yeah, you got him next to Kyrie, like you said, filling in for Clay, and then when Clay comes back, assuming that he goes in the starting lineup, D'Angelo can lead that second line, gives you a scorer, a guy you can rotate in, maybe a little injury cover for Kyrie and Clay.
Yeah, I mean that's a big thing. I mean Kyrie, with the ACL, you never know. So who knows how long Kyrie, when he's gonna be healthy. I mean, I would say keep him out till second half of the season, but that's just me.
Yeah. And then I guess, actually, I don't remember. Did we talk about Miles Turner to the Bucks last week? Did that happen?
No, I don't think we did.
It happened right after. I think I think. So yeah, I guess that's actually the biggest one. Obviously, Miles Turner to the Bucks.
That was huge. That was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of came out of nowhere too.
And then what's the name just got cut, and there's like, hey, go away. We're gonna pay you money.
Yeah. So it kind of just out of nowhere, you saw that the Bucks were going to waive Dame and stretch his contract out, so they'll pay him over the next 7 years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And by the way, a belated Happy Bobby Bo Day to everyone who celebrates. That was a couple of days ago.
Most phenomenal thing of all time.
Yeah, man. He's still got a few years left on that, right?
I think till 30. Is it 35 or?
Yeah, he's got a while left. $1 million a year.
That is just wild.
Crazy. But so yeah, you get the notification like, oh man, they're waiving. That's crazy. What are they about to do? And then a second later, you get the second one that they assigned Miles Turner 4 years and $100 million, something like that.
Yeah.
So crazy. That's their big play now to keep Giannis happy and try to keep this a playoff team in the East, which is much easier than the West. They don't have.
That's a big loss for the Pacers, though.
Yeah, that's huge for the Pacers, because everyone just assumed he'd be there, and the Pacers really, they want to have Tyrese for most, if not all, of next year. But you can, I mean,
have them either one. Jeez.
In the East, you're going to be able to have those guys. That team, Siakam, Turner, Nesmith, what's his face?
Still a talented bunch.
TJ, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Still a team that can make noise in the East, man. And then,
But damn,
but
that really, I don't know.
it's
That was a tough, crazy move.
it's
Crazy
crazy. Yeah.
move, and then and that this the fact that long term though, it'd be interesting to see where Dame Lillard ends up because obviously, man, he's gonna come back. I mean, he gets to
Hmm.
go back to Portland, train, get healthy, get paid a lot of money, not to be there, and we'll see what happens with that because eventually
Hmm.
he's going somewhere.
Yeah, Portland got. I guess that was before the draft though, when they got Drew Holiday back. Um,
Yep.
yeah, but yeah, and then some other interesting trades. Two teams that have done some stuff that I've really liked so far: Atlanta and Denver. Um,
Yeah.
Atlanta
Atlanta's done
gets.
a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, they got Nikhil Alexander Walker from the T Wolves. You got who else they get, man? That trade with the Pelicans draft night, obviously that was a really good one. They
Yeah.
were all on that. But they've done. I liked a bunch of the moves they've done so far. And
Very unhawk like.
yeah, and they're building a solid team around
Yeah.
Trey Young there, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to find where's this damn tracker at. But anyway, and the Bucks also they've made a couple good trades. Got Bruce Brown back. He was a big part of their title-winning team a few years ago. They get Jonas Valanciunas from the Kings. I thought that's a good big man pickup.
Yeah.
Traded Michael Porter Jr. to the Nets for Cam Johnson. I thought that was a really good move.
That's
Um,
interesting.
yeah, I think they really kind of are not ready to give up that title best in the West to OKC just yet. I think they want to
No. Then they
turn
move,
around.
and that's the one. That's the one thing. He just wasn't ever consistent enough to
Mm-hmm.
really be the guy. You would see some when he would just take games over, and then other times he was just so inconsistent there in Denver.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, but they done. I thought those two teams have done some good stuff.
Yeah,
Uh,
Denver. They've also added a lot in their assistant coaches. I know that they've added one of
mm-hmm.
our. They added. Who did I know that they got? I'm trying to think which Dallas went there. But yeah,
And yeah,
Denver. I think
got
they
one of your
built a good
coaches.
coaching
Yeah,
staff.
they signed Tim
And
Hardaway Jr. I thought that was a good
yeah,
signing too.
good veteran move.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean they're definitely saying, hey, we took these guys to seven. I mean we're not just gonna bow down. Because
Yeah,
at one
no.
point, they were supposed to be the darlings of the West and kind of have a little run there. For a minute, it looked like, man, if they stay healthy and together, this Denver team could win a couple titles back to back because they were seemed on a different level, and that didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Injuries and things kind of ended that a little bit. But yeah, they're definitely saying, hey, we're not dead yet. Don't give up. Don't say, that
Mm-hmm.
OKC and everybody else.
Yeah, and then the Mavs went out and got Frank Vogel as a assistant.
Yeah, as the lead assistant, which is
Yeah, it's a pretty good
not a
pickup.
bad, not
Yeah.
a bad pickup.
And then you got teams like the Hornets who are acquiring every guard in
Yeah,
the world,
just
man. They got that Sexton trade right before we recorded last week.
yeah,
They signed Trey Mann, Spencer Dinwiddie. They already got LaMelo and
yeah,
uh, who else? They get? Did they draft a guard or they got another guard? And then Brandon Miller, maybe was a small
yeah.
forward technically, but he play guard.
Right. They just have a shitload of guards. I mean,
Yeah,
so it'd
ton
be
of guards.
interesting to see. Yeah, not a big man in sight because they Williams finally got out.
Yeah, it's weird. They
Uh,
traded him, and then didn't get what's his face at the Kayvon Looney that the Pelicans signed him, a big man pickup,
yeah,
a good veteran presence on a young team. I thought not too many people I've seen are actually like super thrilled about that
right.
sign in, but I think I actually kind of like it. Like I think he's good enough. He can get out. He can definitely, obviously, help protect the rim, back up
Mhm.
Zion down low.
Yeah.
Maybe a little trouble spacing the floor on offense, but I mean, come on, now. He played in that um, the Golden State offense. He knows. I mean, he can help out a team that's
He can
high
figure out
flying.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, it's a little different with Zion and them, but
Yeah.
he adds, like I said, he's a veteran on a very young team, and especially at that position where they got Messi from last year, they got that European guy
Hmm.
that they love. Those are both young guys with potential, and a guy like Looney can help them.
Yeah.
Really
Not
help
overly
them.
expensive.
Yeah, and yeah, cheap. 2 years, 16 million.
Yeah. So
That's fine. Luke Cornett
yeah,
went to
that's
the
not bad at all.
Spurs. That was another move.
Mhm.
Denver got a couple. They got Chris LeVert traded for Duncan Robinson. Um,
That's a good pickup. Duncan Robinson does,
yeah,
did some good
somewhere
things in Miami.
somewhere else. They got someone else too. I think. Luke Kennard went to the Hawks. That's the other guy I was trying to think of. Another
Yeah.
pickup for them. I
Kennard.
thought that was a good pickup. Um, but yeah, it's been an interesting first week.
Absolutely.
It's not a huge. Turner's probably the biggest name that's out there, I
Yeah,
would
and that's
say. Um, but
I
I
mean
think they're
that's a huge move
yeah,
for the Bucks. It'll be interesting what they if that makes them any better. I don't know.
yeah. It's
I don't know.
interesting. Definitely frees up. I guess it's this twin tower approach that some teams seem to be um, trying now,
Hmm.
and it'll be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. My problem there is like, where's your guard scoring coming from? You don't have Dame anymore. You don't have Chris Middleton. You don't have Drew Holiday. Like,
Yeah, all the guys that made the Bucks outside of
yeah,
Giannis are all gone.
they
All of
traded
them.
Pat Connaughton away.
Yeah,
Signed guys like Gary Trent. It's I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
it's the East. That's the thing though. Is that
yeah. I mean, it's still alive, but yeah, where who's gonna score on that? You gotta have in today's NBA, man. You're cooked without good guard play. That's
yeah?
just what it is. I
You
mean,
got you
you
gotta have
have to have
shooters.
absolutely.
I mean, looking at the guards on this team right now. Kevin Porter Jr. going to be your guy. I mean,
Ah,
honestly, if you're an Alabama fan, this is kind of a great situation for a boy Mark
this is
Sears.
great for Mark
Yeah,
Sears.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sign that
absolutely.
2-way deal with him, man. He's got a
Two
real
way
chance
deal.
to
He
if he
has a
can.
chance to play some NBA minutes, get
Mm-hmm.
some time.
Yeah, but
Because
I
I mean,
mean,
someone's got to take Dame's minutes. Perfect opportunity for him.
yeah,
I'm
you're
happy
looking at
for him because he's the only Alabama player that got a 2 way deal. Other
yeah.
guys are still trying to
The other
get
guys are
in.
going to have to earn their way, but
Yeah,
uh,
so it's a little tougher. So, but
which
and I
surprise.
guess you know
I
since
honestly thought
some of the summer league has started, I thought that Nelson was gonna get picked up.
me too. I
I
thought
thought
he
he was
would
gonna get
either get a
2 way
2-way. I honestly thought he could get drafted like toward the end of the draft because
because
he put up good combine
he's a
numbers and
versatile. He, he jumped through the roof. He
hmm
ran shuttle run well.
he set that
And
record in
he's
the shuttle run,
he's
right? It was like the
yeah.
all-time NBA combine, and he's a
And then
project. He's one of those project guys that they love.
yeah, but he's a versatile guy. I mean, he could shoot, he could dunk. I mean, he can do a lot of stuff. He's way more athletic than you would ever think he is by looking at him.
hmm
um,
Yeah, but
but
you look at their guards. It's Jamari Bouye, AJ Green, Andre Jackson Jr., Vasey Mikic, which they got in the
golly,
trade for Pat Connaughton, Kevin
yeah,
Porter Jr., Ryan Rollins, Gary Harris, and Gary Trent. That's
yeah,
some solid guys in that, but not
not guys that's gonna
you know
lead you anywhere.
So
You
yeah. Are
have
you
you
hoping
have
that
to
Kyle
have
Kuzma turns a corner all of a sudden? Like,
right. You have to have at least one to be a legitimate team. You have to have one guaranteed killer at your guard spot. You can have other
hmm
guys can have nights maybe hit and miss throughout, but you have to have at least one consistent 20-point guy, shooter, and guaranteed to
hmm
get you points. They don't have that right now at all.
No, that's why it's a good spot for our boy Mark Sears.
Yeah,
If he
oh,
can
absolutely.
get
He
hot,
can.
he can show that he can make his size not a problem, and he can play
Yeah,
somewhat decent defense. But really, if
I
he can
think he'll at
just be
least.
their scorer,
Yeah, I mean, I think at least he will get one way or the other. I think he'll at least get his opportunity to show whether he's NBA material or not.
yeah, I think if he can, especially if he can really get around like 40% from three,
Oh man,
I
that'd
think
be huge.
he can earn some minutes on that team.
Absolutely, got to
But
work
yeah,
hard,
that's
come ready to
interesting
play,
to see
and
what they're doing there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know what they're doing. I honestly, I don't think. I don't. I mean, they brought in Turner, but I don't know. If I'm being honest, nothing they did excites me. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm just like, oh, it's nothing amazing. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, so we'll see, what else happens in the off season here as the summer league is kicking off and rookies are
Picking off.
kind of getting their first little bit of action. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, there's rumblings that LeBron, even though he opted in, but I just don't know what team out there is gonna give up that much to trade for him at this point because that's
And
$50 million is a lot to.
honestly, some of that stuff that comes with him coming to town,
Yeah,
I,
exactly. There's so
yeah,
much.
there's so much that comes with it. LeBron. Uh, I don't know who would be one to, add to that.
Yeah. Um,
Because I know that every time about the Mavericks, and oh man, we better not be interested. And
yeah,
if we should
there's
have been
always.
interested in LeBron, we should have found a LeBron trade like 10 years ago. If this is not the time.
Yeah, right. Like, what are you giving up for him? What do
Yeah.
you just keep
Unless
shortening
he's
that.
coming,
Yeah.
unless he's coming for league minimum, and you don't give up anybody. That's a of course who wouldn't. But
Hmm.
yeah, no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, no. But that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
What happens with that? Um, man,
Yeah. Anything else in NBA basketball related you want to touch on?
I was think. I think I was trying to think of. I mean, there's been some trades can't even think off the top of my head right now. But there's been some other ones. But it's been I guess maybe not as many big names as maybe what you would thought, but a lot of
Hmm.
interesting moves that kind of
Yeah, kind of stuff
either
you see like
make
on notification. You go, hmm.
yeah interesting
Yeah.
yeah. I mean
Um.
a lot of pieces filled, so I mean it is a lot of new chemistry for a lot of teams there. So be it maybe see how they build if they get how they get better. The what DeAndre Ayton does in LA. I mean honestly, it doesn't seem like a dude that likes a whole bunch of spotlight and pressure. And man, he went to the wrong market for that.
Yeah, but I'm guessing he's hoping that behind LeBron and
And
Luca, he
Luca,
can
no
he
one's
can be
kind of,
quiet. Yeah.
but it's kind of a bad spot to be. I don't know
Hmm.
if it doesn't seem to like the attention. So I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I mean, it'll be like you said, man. Next year is gonna be wild. I mean, the East is gonna be so wide open.
Hmm.
I mean, the West is, I mean, OKC and Denver will be, I think, b- better next year. Um, they weren't bad this year, but see what they do with their, what's his name? What is Rick Adelman's son's their coach, right? So
Yeah.
that's so he became the full time dude. Um, that's not, I like that route that they went with getting a coach.
Hmm.
Um, bringing in a new, a new name. Well, not a new name. You know his dad, but it's a new face. And they didn't recycle anybody, who's previously had runs elsewhere. They didn't, go a, Doc Rivers route or another name that's been around the league, and try something new. I like that because you see some of these coaches, their names keep going and going. Oh, that's the other thing. Mike Brown to the
To
Knicks.
the next, yeah, has that been made official, or are we still
I
waiting?
don't, I'm pretty, but it seems like that's their.
Yeah,
I don't know if
all
it's hundred
signs.
percent official, but all signs are of that. And I'm like, I mean, Mike Brown's a great regular season coach, but if you're trying to get over the hump to win a title, I mean, you could do the same thing with Tibbs, honestly.
Yeah, it's just kind of like yeah, it's a, like this is what did you really
Did you get
exchange this
any
for?
better
Yeah,
from it? Yeah.
yeah. What did you
Because I
really?
mean, we know Mike Brown's had some good years. We know we saw him win in
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cleveland. We've seen him had good regular seasons in Sacramento. I mean, he brought the Kings back to relevancy, which kudos to him because they were dead.
Yeah,
But man, he's a heck of a regular season coach, but obviously has had his issues in the playoffs. So I don't know, what the Knicks saw that made him think, oh, he could take his, or it was kind of. I feel like they had no plan, and he was really their only option.
yeah.
Everybody else kind of said no, and teams locked him out and said, no, absolutely not. And it's kind of Mike Brown was just there, you know. I mean, he's a solid enough coach, but man, you could have kept who you had for that, honestly, because I don't know if you got any better with him coming in as
Yeah.
that coach.
Um.
Probably a nicer
Yes.
guy than Tibbs.
Yeah. He'll definitely have more of a rotation than Tibbs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I don't
So
know. So Wilson, I mean, you really can't. I mean, I mean, obviously he'll get probably, he'll get the Knicks to the playoffs. But I mean, we judge teams off what they do once they get to the playoffs. And
yeah.
he's had several teams that have failed in the all throughout the playoffs, different stages. So you know, I'll have to wait and see on that if he. But as of right now, I'm just like, wow.
Hmm.
Obviously, y'all had no plan, and this was just kind of a shit. We got to get somebody.
Yeah.
Real Nick like.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's very perfect kind of uh,
for
epitome of
that for
what
their
that
owner.
franchise, yeah,
Yeah,
is under Dolan there.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
Elsewhere in the world of sports, let's see. Mexico beat U.S. in the Gold Cup final today,
Yeah,
2-1. Sloppy performance from the U.S., I
yeah.
thought.
I thought they play hard, but I mean, obviously, right now Mexico's a better team there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And obviously, this one not the positive I will take away from it is that's probably most of Mexico's team in the World Cup. So
Yeah, it's pretty much their starting 11 for next year,
yeah,
and this was not the
and
A plus U.S.
obviously,
team.
yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully we get some guys that weren't interested now that come and get involved. I say kudos to the dudes that did play. I mean, they played with good effort. I mean, a lot of people didn't think they were going to win, make it to the finals.
Oh, I thought,
So,
yeah, up
I mean,
until today's game, they played a very good tournament. I thought, especially
yeah,
in the knockout rounds, very
yeah,
well. Good penalty win the
hmm
other night. No, I thought they played very well. Good showing. Some new stars kind of broke out. Guys
yeah,
that can help next year. But like you said, we got guys like Christian Pulisic. Obviously the best player on the team didn't play this
yeah.
round. So hey, next
It'd
year's
be interesting to see
yeah.
what with those friendlies in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
What the rotation is. What the goal, who the goalie is, things
Yeah.
like that. See how this team rounds out.
But it was
'Cause of
also
course,
nice to see that good run after that losing streak, and
yeah, that was
uh,
bad.
yeah, it was real
It
bad.
was,
It was nice to see the effort and the wins more important because sometimes you do need results at the end of the day, and it was nice to see.
yeah, yeah, the
You
effort plus the wins. Yeah.
yeah,
I
of
mean,
course.
I wouldn't necessarily think can we. I was hoping we could win today, But I didn't. I mean, it wasn't
Yeah.
most crushing defeat of all time.
No, yeah. And as usual, I wish that they would make the Gold Cup every 4 years, not every two.
Yeah,
It just devalues the competition a little bit, and I wish
a
they
little
would.
bit.
Um,
That is a
yeah,
what, second straight Gold Cup for Mexico.
yeah, they're 10th all time.
Because for a
Court.
while though, we had kind of taken over the Gold Cup for a little bit. Mexico had kind of
Yeah,
fallen on
yeah,
some hard
yeah,
times. And that pissed their fan base off more than anything. Losing to
yeah.
the U.S. up there,
Oh yeah,
it's like what?
it's a great rivalry. They now have 10, which I
It
believe
is.
is all time ahead of US's 8. Maybe
Yeah,
I can't remember.
yeah.
Um,
But it's a great rivalry. A lot of
mhm.
hatred. But the U.S. is the only hosting team that anytime we play a Mexico or a South American team or Central American team, we are outnumbered 3-1 in the crowd.
Uh-huh.
It's so ridiculous.
They really got to do a
Uh,
better job of picking spots when they do that, man. I know technically this is an international tournament, so maybe. But yeah,
yeah.
when they play some of these home games, I mean, you can't be playing that in
Hey, you
Houston.
have Houston, L.A. It's like, man, of
Nah,
course they're not gonna be by a lot of U.S. fans.
nah, yeah. You got to play those ones
Because
in like
honestly, no matter
Columbus
what,
and Nashville and.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
But at the end of the day, honestly, I mean, it just shows you the difference in passion for no matter what,
mm,
the U.S. only cares a little bit.
yeah, well,
Just the
uh,
difference in the love of the sport.
yeah. Of course, there's a lot of reason the eyes of the world will be on the World Cup next year, and not just soccer, of course. With some of the other shit going on right now, it'd be
Mm. Yeah,
something to watch for next year. I know
be
FIFA.
a lot.
Some groups have made pleas to the U.S. to change some of their ways before the rest
Mm.
of the world comes in, and
Yeah.
you really
Well,
do hope that
I
they
would.
chill with some of this. I mean, in general, you hope, but particularly for the World Cup as it relates to the
Yeah.
World Cup. I mean, because you look at places like Russia and Qatar. They host it and they have some strict laws and stuff there and they
Yeah.
were lax. They laxed them for the fans to come
The
and
world to
visit,
see. Yeah,
and
you don't want.
yeah, you don't
You
want
got
to. Hmm.
the whole world to see it your ways on the
Yeah.
national stage. Yeah, all eyes on the U.S. No matter how we think about soccer, yeah, obviously the most popular game in the world.
Hmm.
So I mean, yeah, we got to do better. We got to be better. No matter
Yeah.
what you think, this is above politics. No matter what side you're on, we got to do better when it comes to stuff like this.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But so we'll see.
Um. Yeah, just some other stuff. This is the eighth meeting in a Gold Cup final between the two rivals. Mexico has won 6 of those 8. Um, they even won, I believe, the Nations League final most recently. Uh, so yeah, but of
Well,
course,
they got their
hey, this is
they
a
got their
roster
coach.
with roster without Kristen Pulisic or Gino Dest, Anthony Robinson, Weston McKennie,
Yeah.
among others. So this is not going to be the team that
No, absolutely not.
um, you see next year. And of course, some other sadder news this week in the world of soccer. Liverpool forward, Portuguese forward Diogo Jota passed away tragically in a car accident.
Yeah, that's
There
tough.
are a lot of tributes to him at the Gold Cup and a bunch of other competitions. The women's Euros
Yeah,
are going on right now, so
yeah,
um, shame. Bright young star
really.
there. Um, but yeah. So good effort from the U.S. to get to the final. Definitely put that
Right.
losing streak behind them. You
Yep.
never want to lose the final, but again, like we said, not the A
Not the
squad.
best team, but
Yeah.
it's good. The guys who did play get some experience. I mean, that was obviously a World Cup type atmosphere
Hmm.
in Houston tonight. So, I mean, so
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
overall you get a positive feel from it and get better from it.
Yeah. Exactly. Uh, ch- 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 let's see. Baseball's really hitting the high spot. Coming up on the All Star break next week.
They just announced the teams today, I believe.
Yeah. The teams announced today. Um, no real surprises. One funny one though. Ronald Acuna Jr. was he will be a starting outfielder.
Mm-hmm.
And he's only started playing in late May. So, but he has
Right.
been on a blistering pace
He's
since he
been on
has
that. Yeah.
come
He's
back.
been
He's
amazing. Yeah.
yeah. He I guess one of only a couple of Braves All Stars, and they're hosting the game. So that sucks that they're having the terrible year they're having. But I believe it's only
Right.
going to be him and Matt Olson actually on the team. Chris Sale was named to the team, but of course he is on the IL right now, as with pretty much every damn Braves pitcher. But I guess the biggest one is no Juan Soto.
Yeah.
It's kind of shocking.
Yeah. No Juan Soto. They're talking about maybe Washington did get the better part of the trade because they had their guy in the who made the All Star team.
Did he? Yeah, kind of surprising there. But yeah, as far as baseball goes right now, the Braves just continue to be terrible. Swept by the Orioles this weekend. It is just
That's true.
shocking at this point how you can't just point to granted 4 of their opening day starting 5 pitchers are out right
Yeah.
now, but it's been
Yeah,
hitting
it's
too,
tough.
man. It's been that
Yeah,
lineup.
can't hit. Yeah.
Really only Acuna. Matt Olson has come on in June, but he struggled to start the year. Austin Riley's been up and
Yeah.
down. Michael Harris and Ozzie Albies have been terrible. They just got Jerkson Profar back from his suspension. Of course, he actually has had a few homers this weekend. Had one in his first game back, so maybe that'll be somewhat of a spark to that lineup. But right now, you're getting close to you're already past the halfway point in games played. You're 11 games under 500, 13 and a half back of the Phils in the East, and what are they, 8 back of the wild card?
Yikes. Yeah.
8.5. Yeah, it is. Whew.
Not looking good at all.
So it's going to be one interesting team to look at come trade deadline time because guys like Marcell Ozuna and maybe Sean Murphy. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, that's an interesting thing when you're down like that. Like, what do you do? Do you sell? Do you try to bring in anybody to try to save this season, or are you just already moving on? I don't know what you do in that situation.
Yeah, it's definitely it's weird too for a team that's expected to be so as good as the Braves were supposed to be.
Yeah,
this year.
Yeah, now the fans are frustrated. No, a lot of Braves fans, different spots, and man, a lot of frustrated folks.
Yeah, for sure. Fell behind the Marlins in the standings. That's never a good look.
It's not ever. It's never.
Above the Nats, still, I guess, who today fired
Just
their
fired everybody.
GM and manager. Yeah.
Yep. Had the one amazing run in 2019, and that was it.
Yeah, right. It's kind of been weird how they just went from winning the World Series to it's never really. It's like remember when Maryland won the Final Four and they just never really got even close to getting back to that level.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It was, they looked on. That 2019 Washington Nationals team was ridiculous. They had to win the play-in game over the Brewers to even get in.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just got so hot. And Soto and then Strasburg pitching, and it was just wild.
Yeah, Bryce Harper. Wait, was he on that team? Yeah, he was on that team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of wild. But, yeah, as we said, next week is the All-Star game in Atlanta. Hopefully, I don't know, my Braves wake up at some point. But who the hell knows? It does not look good to be swept by the Orioles
No,
at home,
it's
particularly
not
this
gonna
Orioles
look
team.
good.
It's not a good Orioles team either.
No,
Um,
it's not that bad.
but you got to do something. Let's see. Is really it. I didn't really have a lot of notes going in.
Um,
Uh,
I'd say that Alabama recruiting
I was about to
still
say that. I was
putting up
just about to
numbers.
say, man.
A hot
Uh,
week. Got
Caleb.
some more five. Got the 5 star Saturday and 5 star on 4th of July. I mean, we're
Mhm.
just
Up,
rolling
up to what?
up to
5 of
like
them
seven
now.
or
Five, six
yeah,
of them,
five
depending on
five
which.
stars.
Yeah,
What you prefer is your
yeah, your
thing
site.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like how On3 does it because I mean they show you everything and kind of do
Mm-hmm.
a mix. They have
Yeah.
that mix number. I like that. But yeah, I mean, either way, I mean, going into June, people are like, "What's Alabama doing?" We're not, we're kind of what in the 50s, and now we're at 7 or 8. So I mean, obviously, DeBoer, uh, let's figure out how to recruit in the South.
Yeah. Right. It's, crazy.
I know he's getting a little help, and obviously, Nick Saban still has a little push there, and I've
Hey,
heard Julio's gotten involved recently, so
hey,
I
but
don't.
it's funny because I've seen people bitch about that online, like, oh, Saban's helping, but one, so like that's what you do. You get your ex
I
greats,
mean, he's getting paid. He's getting paid $500,000 a year to be an ambassador for the. Of course, he's supposed to do that.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
reason they kept
If
him around.
you're just mad you
He's
don't
gonna.
have Nick Saban on your in
Yeah,
your team's history to do that. If you could,
yeah,
you would, man. I
absolutely.
mean,
You would. Who wouldn't? Who
if
wouldn't? I
yeah,
mean,
if
obviously, that's what he's getting his $500,000, whatever his contract is specifically for that.
yeah, you think if like other great coaches stay in that town where they're great coaches, they don't every now and again get a call from the current coach like, hey, you want to say hey, and
Yeah,
so it's funny that people are
absolutely.
saying, oh, Alabama's only getting because Saban, but also when he retired, they were like, oh, he's retiring because he can't keep up recruiting anymore. So which one is it, y'all?
You pick. You got to choose the. Yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
And he can't. He's lost an edge of recruiting, so that's why he's retiring. NIL was too much for him, but yet here we are. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
they don't know.
hilarious. And then
They don't know what they want to do with it.
it's funny. Even one of these recruits' moms actually came out and said something either in a
Mhm.
social media post or something. But she was like, "I don't know what y'all think. We meant Nick Saban, but Kalen DeBoer and his staff." She said, this is her
Yeah,
words. She said, "Kalen DeBoer and his staff are the ones that came and visited and talked to us, and we
yeah,
talk to us all the time. Like so." It's like, yes, we met
absolutely.
Coach Saban. Of course, we met him. He's the GOAT. Why wouldn't we want to meet him?
Right.
But like, yeah,
But
but like,
obviously, these guys are putting in work. Like
yeah. So
this
yeah,
staff is putting in
yeah,
work
Kalen
and
DeBoer, the
doing what they're
GM
supposed to
Courtney
do.
Morgan, he's the weapon man. I'm just
Yeah,
a lot of reason to
a
be
lot of
excited
good.
for Alabama football right now.
Absolutely. A lot of good things are happening. I'm excited for this coming up season. Now
Mm-hmm.
we're in July now, so we're getting there. Next
Yeah,
month we'll have
e-
college
e-
football.
EA college football releases this week.
Ooh, it's a good
It's
time. We'll
it's that
start
time of
getting
year.
it, the starting about to start getting into talking season, all
Mm-hmm.
the media days coming up, all the predictions. Man, it's a good time.
Oh yeah. Uh, but yeah, let's see. Let's see what else happened. There's something else in college. Oh, that's it. In the latest round of stuff that makes me feel old, Notre Dame got a commitment from Devin Fitzgerald, son of one Larry Fitzgerald.
No,
Uh,
man.
I don't
Wow.
know. If he is even half the receiver his dad was,
Oh my
that's a
goodness.
great
Yeah.
pickup for Notre Dame. Everyone knows how
It's
great
crazy.
Larry Fitzgerald is, but if you don't remember Larry Fitzgerald at Pitt, man, uh, it's about as good as a receiver's ever been in college, man.
Oh man, just ridiculous. And the whole time I was thinking, how the fuck did Pitt get Larry Fitzgerald?
Right? It's like how yeah exactly. How was he not at
How did
least at
everybody
Penn
miss on Larry
State
Fitz?
or
Yeah.
back? That would have been back. He went
Everybody
to college.
obviously everybody was sleep on
Mm,
Larry Fitzgerald
yeah, obviously,
because that's wild.
but he's up
It's
there with
not like they
like
even had a it's
it's
not
like
like they even had a history of ever since Dan Marino, no one really I mean pick quarterbacks. No one's, it's not like he had a came in and had like a great guy throwing him the ball or
Mm-mm.
anything.
If
It's
you
just
gave me
wild.
50 guesses right now, I probably couldn't name you who was throwing him the ball back then. Um,
Man, I couldn't
because
tell
he
you.
was in school when we were in school, right? So he would have been around
Yeah,
then. He played
yeah.
2 seasons at Pitt. If he was a redshirt sophomore, if I remember right, when he or something, or he no, he's a true sophomore, but he played a year at a prep academy or something because his dad's military life. So
Yeah.
he only played 2 years at Pitt. He's a beast,
Who was
man.
this? He was a monster.
It was him. Like in terms of like guys I've seen in my lifetime in the college level, they're just so far and away. Obviously, the best player on the field. It was like him, Calvin Johnson. Man, Amari
Randy
Cooper was that
Moss
way.
back in
Yeah,
Randy Moss back in Marshall was on a
yeah,
different level.
yeah. Randy
Not only
Moore.
because of
Yeah.
that, but I mean he was going up against lower competition guys
Mm-hmm.
as like a the D1. Of course, he started at
Mm,
Florida State and or Notre Dame, and he was recruited everywhere and to end up at Marshall. With some issues there. I
yeah.
mean, obviously he was just killing, killing, making it look super easy back in the
Yeah.
day. But yeah,
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
there's just certain guys. Yeah, but Amari Cooper was definitely
Yeah. I was watching some
special.
highlights of that hidden at Alabama. I was just watching games and it just kept going to
Yeah.
that era 2012 through 2014, and man, he was just so damn good and open all the time. And
And
then
then
yeah.
when Lane Kiffin got it,
Ooh.
that
Yeah.
just took it to a different level of greatness. I mean,
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin, you just knew it was because he would throw up his hands as soon as the ball was thrown. He
Mm-hmm.
just knew touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I
because it
mean,
was
it
like
was
it's funny when you watch these highlights. It's not just that he's like beating guys or making great catches. He's like got
you
like
know,
6 yards of separation, like
he's
every time.
cooking people.
Yeah,
He was cooking people. Just
yeah.
ridiculous.
He was
Man, I
and
would have
then
loved to have seen like Julio with the wide open offense.
oh man,
That would have been
yeah,
crazy. If he
yeah,
had Lane Kiffin or someone as his OC, oh
man,
my goodness.
Julio, man, yeah. That was. It's funny because people always say he was underutilized or whatever at Alabama. It's not necessarily that. He was
It was just a
great.
system.
Yeah, it was just a system. We were a hard, heavy run team. He was asked to do a lot
Yeah,
of blocking, which he didn't mind,
yeah,
and he was asked
yeah.
to be our star. And when he caught, I mean, there's
When
that,
he was asked to do, he did what he needed to do when it was called upon.
exactly. I mean, of course, that he didn't. It's funny. I guess he just didn't have a lot of the flashy plays, that big
No,
memories that we remember. That's because the teams he was playing on, we didn't. We're beating the shit out of everybody.
right.
He didn't need, but
But I will say that that game was that '08 game against was it '08 or '09 against LSU was amazing
in
when he
Tuscaloosa,
cooked L. Yeah, when he
it
cooked
was
LSU.
'09. Yeah, that he
Oh
took that
nine.
screen pass like
Mm-hmm.
70 yards to the house. Yeah,
Yeah,
he had a
he cooked LSU that day. That's
yeah.
probably one of his biggest
Hmm.
individual days that I can think off the top of my head, and where he just was on different.
Yeah,
You knew he
that
was on a different level.
that Auburn game that year, he had a pretty big game. That I
Yeah.
remember on the game winning drive that year, he had something like 6 or 7 catches on that drive alone, and like
Hmm.
4 of them were for first downs. Like he was just that's what
Yeah.
he did at Alabama. He didn't. He wasn't making the bombs. He was catching those like 8 yard
Yeah.
boom first down
Yeah.
extended drive.
Keep the chain moving. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he was
Absolutely.
he just called out all of them. Like he never dropped it. Like
Yeah.
yeah, he was going to get it.
And man, these wide receivers we have now, man, their height, they're all like, and them tight
Mm-hmm.
ends we brought in. Everybody's 6'6", 6'5", 6'7". It's like,
Mm.
man, in that red zone, we could be scary. All
Yeah,
that height.
like I said, it's a lot of real interesting to see. Uh, we're going to see the real Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb
I
offense this
think
year
so.
now.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Um,
Because I think and kudos to Kalen DeBoer because I mean, he could have easily just stepped in and be like, man, I'm just run the plays, but I think he had enough respect for Sheridan to let him continue to even if things weren't working. I mean, obviously sometimes you just let your OC learn and do stuff because I mean
mm-hmm.
at times all they do just step in, but he had enough respect to to let him, learn and be the
Yeah,
OC. But
yeah, and you had your limitations. We love Jalen
yeah,
Milrow, but he wasn't that guy for that
yeah,
offense, and they.
no, not at all.
Uh,
Like we said, he's had some of the highest moments and some of the lowest moments of the. I
mm-hmm.
don't think it's more polarizing quarterback, probably since Zal and Watts. Honestly,
Yeah, no, that's a good call, man. Because and he, a lot like Tyler Watts and Andrew Zhao. He's that kind of guy that he could give you a memorable performance or
and
just a
then
stinker.
couple,
Like, what the hell you doing?
yeah, yeah,
And I mean, poor Tyler Watts
absolutely.
will forever remember for that fumble at Oklahoma.
Oh,
When he
oh,
just ball slipped out of the back of his hand when he went to throw it.
yeah,
But he also, I mean, Tyler Watts also put in some performances. Was what the first, maybe still the only Bama player to ever have 200 yards passing and rushing. Um,
yeah.
and he,
He,
his knees.
it
I
was
mean,
just you couldn't get no consistency with him. That was the
eh,
biggest
you know what? He
frustrating thing
tore
with him.
ACL in both of his knees, right, or the same one twice,
Yeah,
or something like that. He was a guy
yeah,
that was
yeah,
also just
yeah.
cursed with injury.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
also
man.
kind of in that period of when we thought we kept thinking we were going to get the next, Joe Namath or whatever at
Yeah.
quarterback. It was Tyler Watts, and then it was Brody, and
Bro. I think if Brody hadn't got hurt in '04, I think that team was gonna be something special. That
oh,
'04
absolutely,
team
yeah.
when
When he,
he got towards ACL against Western, was it Western Carolina?
yep, Western Carolina,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. No, that team, yeah, they were started 3-0, and they were putting up numbers.
Yeah. I think
Uh,
that was gonna be a special team,
yeah,
honestly.
and then we had to sit through a season of Spencer Pennington and Martin Gillian. Oh,
Oh
Jesus.
my God.
So
Shoot
that's
me
what
now.
exactly. That's what I was saying last year. And people were talking about, oh, Alabama slipping, but you don't know. If you weren't there for that, you
Yeah,
don't
man.
know.
Dude, we had something horrible. Who was the other guy we brought in? Brandon, was it Brandon Avalos?
Brandon Avalos started one
Ugh.
game in his career, won it though.
Yeah.
He got that
Did
homecoming game against Southern Miss, and he went like 3 of 7, and we just ran the
much better,
option.
much better baseball player.
We just ran the option. We ran Shawn Williams and
Hmm.
Jimmy Johns the whole game, and it worked.
Yeah, it did.
And I remember that was one of the drunkest. Speaking of shitty liquors, I remember our boy Travis. He bought a bunch of different liquors for that homecoming weekend, and I tried them.
Oh
I tried
boy.
them all. And
Mhm.
the girls upstairs
That's
made
funny.
Jello shots. Tried them. Ooh, it was rough. Ooh.
Yeah, that's funny.
Uh,
Oh, that's funny. Good stuff.
yeah, but man, that's all I got for this week.
Yeah.
Um, you got anything else?
No, I think we covered a lot of stuff. We're kind of in a slower period, but it's about to start picking up there. Second half of the baseball season, getting the college football talks more. So I mean, we're almost on a good spot there. So
Yeah, for
this is a
sure.
time if to um, you know hang out with the family more.
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
if any women listening, this is your time to get your honey to do list done
Mm-hmm.
before the
Mm-hmm.
football gets started. You know, catch up on series, stuff you may have missed in the TV world outside of sports, and it's kind of that time period for that type of activities.
Exactly. Yeah. Take advantage now. Uh,
Yeah,
get those vacations in.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But all right. So is anything done up real good for you this week?
Well, this week it was all right. But we're about to go on
Mm-hmm.
vacation on Tuesday. Headed down to our annual family reunion for my wife's side of the family in Alabama. So we'll be down there for mm, about 10 days. We got a little Airbnb in Northport, so
Nice.
hanging
Nice.
out, do some stuff. People like, why do you always go to Alabama? I don't know. We just like it. I don't know. It's just something. I don't know. It feels like home still. Even though of course it's so much different than when we were there. But when you go
Oh,
back,
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
whoa. You
Something
see what
crazy every
these
year. Yeah.
kids. Man, these dorms
Yeah.
are amazing compared to
Spoiled.
what we had.
They are
Oh
spoiled.
boy.
But the best time in Tuscaloosa was always the summer, man. It was quiet. When I lived there after college, that was always my favorite
Yeah.
time of year. Was the summer, man. Most of the students gone. It was a little
hmm
quieter.
Yeah, drink for cheap.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know how much of that's changed now, but
Man, I tell you, the one summer I did summer school, yeah, I liked it because it was slower, but it was still super fun. Like,
yeah, yeah. It was like slower and chill, but it wasn't completely dead.
you know,
Yeah,
there's still people there.
yeah.
Um,
It was nice.
yeah, I don't think anything's deader though than the winter in Tuscaloosa when everybody goes home on the weekend. If you're
Oh
not,
yeah.
when you're not, everybody goes home and you're kind of like, hey, when you're not from around there, well,
Uh,
what
guess
am
I'll
I
play
gonna
more
do?
PlayStation. Yeah, right.
Yeah, time to get a girlfriend. Oh
Oh
man,
man, I have a what's not done up real good this week, and look,
real.
mosquitoes need to chill. They, they are tearing me up. They're tearing my
Tearing
son
you
up.
up.
They're tearing me up this year. Y'all need to
It's
chill.
not fun.
My
Yeah.
wife joked we went to, it was one of our neighbors' little kids' first birthday, so they had a little thing. We went over there for it. My wife was
Uh-huh.
joking with one of the neighbors because they made they're like, oh man, the mosquitoes got to him. And she's like, I know. I'm so worried that child services is going to come take him because his poor little legs are just,
Yeah. Look like you got
he's
welts.
welts and
Getting whooped.
yeah, exactly. And he's scratching and there's got to be some, we're trying to find some stuff to do. There's got to be one
Yeah.
in the house because, we'll give him a nice bath in Epsom salt at night. We'll
hmm
rub him down with some, Benadryl cream, stuff like that,
Yeah.
make him so he doesn't itch him too bad. And he'll wake up in the morning and you'll be like, oh, okay, these are looking better, da da da. And then all of a sudden you just see another big welt. And you're like, where?
Well, yeah. Where is he?
Mm-hmm.
Where is this?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my thing for this week. Y'all mosquitoes need to
That's
just
fun.
chill.
Yeah. Chill
Chill.
out. Yeah. Go up the street a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man, go down the block. Go to the
Yeah. There's
go
other
by.
kids out there. There's other people to bother.
God, there's a bunch of bars down. Go down to the bars. Get people who are sitting on the
Yeah.
patio outside.
Exactly.
But yeah, that does it for us this week, y'all. Thanks for listening. As always, subscribe, like, rate, follow, tell your friends, tell your rich friends. Holler at us if you want to sponsor us. Check out the AlabamaTake.com. You can check Greg out on the Bama Hammer. As always, you got a good podcast or writing idea, hit Blaine up, the Alabama Take at gmail.com. We'd love to have you. Keep it done up real good yourselves out there, folks. If you're getting that new college football game this week, have fun playing it. Remember to do a lot of good things for your spouse before you spend hours every
Yeah.
night playing.
Yeah.
Maybe
When
take them on a date.
take her out.
Do something. Yeah.
Take her on the date. Yeah. You know.
Do something like that.
Yeah, because they're gonna be busy. You're
Gonna
gonna
be
be
busy.
busy. You
Yeah.
got some recruiting to do. You got some
Got some
facilities to
crew.
build
Yeah.
up. You got stuff to do. You got to make that mid-major a powerhouse. I mean, it takes a lot.
Indeed, it does.
Uh,
But all right, Greg, buddy, I will holler at you next time.
yes, sir.